Hello class, today I'm going to teach you how to solve simple equations. So the addition property of equality just means when you add the same number to each side of the equation, it makes an equivalent equation. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Subtraction property of equality means when you subtract the same number for each side of an equation. Okay, so solve x minus 7 equals negative 6. Okay, so we want to isolate the variable. So split the equation. I like to split it because an equation is like a balance. We are going to isolate the x. So that's the side that I'm working on. So the opposite of minus 7 or negative 7 is adding 7. So now I'm left with x on the left side because negative 7 and positive 7 cancel out. That's our goal, is to get x all by itself. And negative 6 plus 7 is positive 1. So x equals 1. So now let's do a check. Okay, we just substitute in 1 for the x. 1 minus 7, does that equal negative 6? Yes, it does. Our answer is correct. So this section we should always get 100 on if you just double check your work. So once again, split the equation at the equal sign. We're going to isolate the variable. That's the side that I'm working on. So the opposite of plus 6 or positive 6 is negative 6. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So positive 6 and negative 6 cancel out. I'm left with w equals 1 minus 6 is negative 5. So negative 5 equals w. So now let's do the check. 1 equals negative 5 plus 6. Is that true? Negative 5 plus 6 is 1. It checks out. Great job. Okay, now we have the multiplication property of equality. When you multiply a number on each side of the equation to make an equivalent equation, that's called the multiplication property of equality. What you do on one side, you do to the other. And then the division property of equality, what you do on one side, you do to the other when you divide. Okay, so here, negative 3/4 n, remember that means to multiply. The coefficient is negative 3/4 times n equals negative 2. So we have our balance. We're going to isolate the variable. So negative 3/4 times n, the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we're dividing by a fraction. Negative 3/4 divided by negative 3/4 gives us a positive 1. And we want to be left with 1n, right? What we do on one side, we do to the other. So we're going to divide by negative 3/4. When you divide by a fraction, you keep change flip. So negative 2 times negative 4 over 3. I'm just going to put a 1 under the 2. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8, and 1 times 3 is 3. So n equals 8/3. Or we can change it into a mixed number. So 8/3, 3 goes into 8, 2, and 2/3 left over, okay? So 8/3 or 2 and 2/3, either way. Okay, so now let's substitute it in. I'm running out of room here. So we said our answer is positive 8/3. So negative 3/4 times positive 8/3, does that equal negative 2? Well, I can cross simplify my 3's. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And I can cross simplify. 4 can go into 8 2 times. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I have negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Check. Great job. I'm just going to clear this to give me room for the next problem. Okay, 5x equals 15. Okay, you probably know how to do that one mentally, but I'm just going to go through the steps. So we split the equation at the equal sign. I need to isolate the variable. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1x. I just want to be left with an x. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. So x equals 3. So does 5 times 3 equal 15? Yes, it does. Check. Good work. Okay, let's do some extra practice. Split the equation at the equal sign. Isolate the variable. The opposite of minus 3 or negative 3 is plus 3. Plus 3. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2 equals W. Substitute it in. Negative 2 minus 3, that equals negative 5. Check. Okay, the next one. We need to divide, right? Opposite of multiplying is divide. So we're going to divide by negative 2/3 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. I'm left with one end. What you do on one side, you do to the other. So 8 divided by negative 2/3 is the same as 8 over 1 times negative 3 over 2. You can go straight across, or I like to cross simplify in the beginning. 2 can go into 8. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So n equals negative 12. So now let's plug it in and see if it works. So negative 2/3 times negative 12 over 1, that should equal 8. 3 going to 12 4 times. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. So our answer is correct. Great job. Okay, here we have Q plus the absolute value of 3 equals negative 5. So I'm just going to rewrite Q plus 3, the absolute value of 3 is 3, equals negative 5. Okay, then we're going to subtract 3 from both sides because we need to isolate this variable. Negative 3 and positive 3, we're left with just Q on the left. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. So Q equals negative 8. So it's substituted in. It's negative 8 plus 3 equal negative 5. Yes, it does. Okay, the next problem, I can simplify first. So what's 9 times 3 over 1? Well, 9 times 3 is 27. So P minus 27 equals 6. Isolate the variable. The opposite of negative 27 is positive 27. So we're just left with P. What you do on one side, you do to the other. So 27 plus 6 equals 33. Okay, so let's substitute it in. We did 9 divided by 1/3 already. We got 27. So does 33 minus 27 equal 6? Yes, it does. So P equals 33. Great job. I hope this video helped you understand about simple equations. Have a great day.